Hello, hello, Dion here from Woman Leader Global. Welcome to this broadcast. I welcome you and ask that you put your name in the box as you join. My name is Dion Johnson. I'm the founder at Woman Leader Global, and I'm a strategic ally to women in senior leadership. This is, I don't know what this is, day. Hello, Katrina. I didn't see your live today. I was looking. I didn't see you. Where are you? So this is day 20 of my series called Queendom, and I'm really excited about this series because, do you know what? I really believe with all of my heart that we as women in senior leadership are being called to a whole new dimension of leadership, a whole new dimension of influence. And I don't know about you, but I want to know how we get there, how we move up in our capacity to influence. And so this series is all about me sharing my ideas about how we as women in senior leadership can ascend and evolve and mature as women and as leaders and as influential change makers in our field, whether you're working wherever you're working in the industry, whether you're working in business or science and technology or education or family welfare or I don't know, the media or arts and leisure, wherever you're working in the global marketplace, your industry needs innovation. Your industry has problems that they don't know what to do with, and you are the answer. And so my job is to help us all to ascend as influencers. So as you're joining, please put your name in the box. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm really excited about this series because it's really causing me to dig deep. I remember a few years back, probably about 5 years ago now, I remember being in a training. I went to my mentor's group training, and I remember this woman speaking about where we were getting to, where we needed to get to in terms of our leadership for our businesses. And I remember feeling like there was a whole realm down here and then a whole realm up here. And I really felt the frustration of, how do you ascend? How do you get up there? How do you go from here to there? And I remember I learned some of what I'm sharing about being a queen in this series. And I remember realizing that the more you be you, the more you show up for real, the more you ascend. And so as queens of influence, I want to look at what we need to be doing in order to go up and ascend in influence. And so today I want to share with you seven distinctions between queen and what I call slave girl, because it's my experience as a woman in leadership myself, and it's my experience working with other women in leadership, that oftentimes, even though we've got the position, even though we are appointed to the place of high level leadership, we often still think of ourselves in a slave girl type way. That there's often this gap between who we're appointed to be, who we're called in our position and our job title, and who we actually think of ourselves to be. So let me share with you these 7 distinctions and you see if you recognize any one of them, okay? So the first one is that a queen creates order, and a slave girl lavishes in chaos. Order versus chaos. You see, a queen develops supportive systems and processes and frameworks around herself that really will free her up to be queen, will free her up to do what she's there to do. So she likes structure, she likes order, she likes things to be just so around her. She creates support networks, she creates processes around her that really do frees up her mind, frees up her time, frees up her life, so that she can get on and be doing what she's there to do. So where are you on the order versus chaos spectrum? Okay, it's a very personal question because oftentimes people can't tell by looking where you're at with this. But I want you to just take an honest look in the mirror and say, you know, on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being, you know, completely disordered and chaotic, and 10 being, you know, really structured, organized, with a great support around you, lots of processes to help you be free. Where are you on that, and what's in the gap? The second distinction is that she's honoured, the Queen is honoured for who she is. She's honoured for who she is. And the slave girl, she's a nobody to other people. The people don't know that she's there. You know, she's often the one that's sort of the orphan girl in the corner somewhere, and nobody, she's invisible. In fact, she's the one that lives underneath. She does all the washing and the cleaning downstairs. She doesn't even come upstairs. Remember when I was young, there used to be this program called Upstairs Downstairs, and it was about this classism, really, about, you know, the maids, and the maids were allowed upstairs, but there were some people, the scullery people I think they were called, they had to stay downstairs. Well, a queen is known for who she is, but the slave girl is sort of invisible. She's a nobody to everybody else. So the queen now, she's got a brand. You know, people know her quirks, her idiosyncrasies. They know what she looks like. They know she's easily recognizable. She's able. You can see her and know who she is. She's got a reputation. People know what she's like, know what she sounds like, knows her sound, knows what she cares about, knows her, right? So that's a difference. Honored for who she is versus nobody. And then the third distinction that I've got here is that the Queen is passionate. The Queen's passionate, passionately driven, and the slave girl is indifferent. So the Queen has a cause. She's got mission. She's got an assignment. She's got purpose on her mind. She wants to see something happen. She stands for something. Whereas a slave girl stands for nothing. She's not interested in anything outside of herself. She's preoccupied with getting her own needs met, right? She hasn't got time. She's thinking that I don't care about that. Like, do you know what's going on in my life? That's the slave girl mentality. Do you know that while I'm on this, let me just share that often we think of slave girl as this poor, abandoned, scruffy, dirty, smelly human being in the corner. But I want you to think about slave girl dressed like a queen, because this is what I'm seeing. I have experience of it myself personally, and I see it with my clients, that this slave girl is an inward slave girl. She's not a slave girl because she's got no clothes and no money. She's an inward slave girl because she has not developed as a queen. The other day in prayer, I was hearing God say to me that princesses are born, and queens are raised. Queens evolve. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Princesses are born, queens are raised, queens are appointed, queens are brought up to queen. Yeah, the queens are given garments of a queen. But so often, for many millions of us women, we were born princesses, and that was licked out of us through life, through prejudice, through messages, you know, subliminal messages in our atmosphere, actual abuse, and all kinds of things. This princess was beaten up rather than nurtured into queen. So as you're listening to me go through these distinctions, I'm really asking you to think about slave girl as a mentality rather than a literal sort of tats and Cinderella kind of thing. I'm not talking about that. Okay, so what do we get to in distinctions? So passionate versus indifferent. So the queen is influential and the slave girl is invisible. We kind of touched on that. So people walk by her in the street. So even the way it works out in the corporate world is that nobody knows your name. Or they might know that you're the director of this or the head of that, but they don't know what you think. They don't know that you've got an opinion. They don't really know. You sound like the powerful ones in the organization. You sound like you repeat what everybody else says. You haven't got a view of your own. You aren't seen. You aren't heard for who you really are. Right? That's how it plays out. And in the other distinction is that a queen is really gracious. She's regally gracious and elegant. And a slave girl is grudgeful and accusatory and blaming. So the queen lets go, give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, she lets things be water off a duck's back. She doesn't take other people's stuff on. She doesn't get involved in all of that politics and politrick stuff. She just lets it flow over her and stands her ground because she knows that she's the queen. Whereas a slave girl now gets hit up by other people's stuff. You know, she feels threatened by other people's stuff. She takes it on. She points it out. She holds grudges. She points the finger. She blames. You see, there's a difference between queen and slave girl. And the next distinction is that the queen is intentional. The queen is intentional about what she's about. She's on a mission. She's got an assignment. She's goal-driven, target-driven. She wants to see something come out of her life. Her leadership must be accomplishing something. Whereas the slave girl, well, she says what will be will be. You know, come see, come saw. You know, I haven't got any power over the future. The queen knows that, you see, she's the one. If it's going to be, it's up to me. That's what the queen says. If it's up to me, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Whereas the slave girl says, you know, I can't control what they do to me. I can't control what they let happen to me. So, you know, I'm just going to try and keep myself well. I'm going to protect myself here and now. So the next distinction and the last one is that the queen gives from a wealthy place. She serves from a wealthy place. I am wealthy and I give out of my overflow. I am wealthy and, you know, I have everything I need, or everything I need is available to me. Even if I don't have it right here and right now, I know that I am wealthy, that I've never run empty. I've never run dry. I'm full. And out of that full place, I can say, what do you need? I can be honest about my willingness to serve and contribute and to give and to make a difference. And the slave girl, on the other hand, she gives from a place of lack. She gives to get. So I'm going to do this because I need to get paid. I'm going to do this because I want you to like me. I'm going to do this because I don't want to stand out. I'm going to do this because, so she's giving out of a place of, I need something, so let me give in order to receive it. Completely different, right? Yeah, so what do you think about these distinctions? What I'd really love for you to do is to take each one and just put them on a scale of 0 to 10 and see where you are with each one of those. And ask yourself the question, you know, what's in the gap? Because here's what I've learned on my own journey is that the more you address, the more you become intentional about addressing what's in the gap and developing the character of a queen here and now, that's when you start to move up and up and up and up and up in your capacity to influence like a queen. So what do you think? You're going to do the exercise? Are you going to take, let me go through them again. Order versus chaos. Honored for who you are versus a nobody in your industry. Passionate and standing for something versus indifferent and preoccupied with yourself and your self-preservation. Influential versus invisible, gracious versus grudgeful, and intentional and focused versus what will be and powerless over the future, and giving from a wealthy place versus giving from a place of lack. So see, where are you with that? Let's see what you're saying, Kat. Queens are raised. Love it. Yeah. I love that too. Like, I received it and I was like, woohoo, I better write this down. I love this doing. I spent so long feeling inferior to others. If only I'd known back then. Yeah, same me. I'm still on the journey, Kat. I'm really still on this journey of embracing my right to occupy my life as a queen. And that's what I want more than anything for every woman that I serve. I think it's time. I think that only then can we begin to teach the world how to treat women, when we embrace our inner queen. And only then can we feel, can we fulfill the call? Can we answer the call to really speak to what we know is wrong and ailing in our sphere of influence? I'm particularly interested in working with people whose sphere of influence is the marketplace. They're marketplace leaders, and there's so much room for improvement when it comes to corporate outcomes. You know, we live in a world where there's just such massive gaps between the haves and the have-nots, and that's being generated and perpetuated in the marketplace where we're leading. And if we're leading there, then it's time for us to be able to get to a place where we can walk as queens and get rid of some of this inequality and injustice and unfairness that is being perpetuated in our sphere of influence, right under our nose. Right under our nose. I'm seeing women who are appointed to positions but not operating fully in them. And there's a difference between being in the room and being influential in the room. So now you got me on my soapbox. But I hope you can hear me. I hope these distinctions really make a difference. What I'm finding is that the more I embody my inner queen right now, the more I open my mouth and people hear, people listen, people are influenced, things start to happen. The more you realize who you are, you start to attract listening ears. You start to attract willing hands for helping with the cause and the mission when you know who you are. And so you're queen. You are a woman of influence and you are queen of your industry. And I can't wait to support your ascension in that place. Well, that's me for today. I've really enjoyed having you with me, Kat. I'm really glad for you, if you're catching this on the replay, please still go ahead and put your name in the box and let me know who you are. Like this page and share. There's a share button, I think, down there somewhere. Share this video, because I'm on a mission to help us as women of influence to rise, to ascend to a whole new dimension of influence at such a time as this. See you later. Bye.